Yeah, welcome back. It was interrupted. Sorry. So here we was discussing what it is. Big Indian type of processor. In this type, the higher byte of data will be stored it in the lower order address of the memory. Then observe here in the diagram byte 3, that is higher byte of the data, it will stores at address 2000. Again byte 2 it stores at the higher address 2001. That is higher byte data is to be at higher the lower the address. Okay, lower the address. That is a different big Indian type of processor. Okay. Here next we'll discuss the load and store operation and instruction pipeline. So in the module 1 we have in detail we discussed the load and store instruction. Similarly here also generally we can discuss. Okay, and you can read out the slides that points are given here. Just to go through it we can easily understand. Okay. Then next here diagram, the loading the data to the register and processor data, again it will be going to store it in the register, and the result will be going to store it in the memory. That is a store and load operation, how it is going to perform, that's shown in the diagram. This already in the module 1 we discussed. Okay, let me skip this slide. We'll go to next slide. This also we discussed in the pipeline operation of the processor. That is basically we have fetch, decode, execute operation. This also it is discussed. Just go through the slide, skip. And this is the pipeline operation. In the machine cycle 1, the next instruction to be executed, that address will be stored in the PC -1, and current execution address will be in the PC. So in the next cycle it will be incremented by PC will be incremented by 1, and samely in the next cycle PC will be incremented by another one memory location. So this is the diagram, it shows the operation of the pipeline. Okay, this also be discussed. Okay, let's come to the next core of the system, that is application specified integrated circuit, abbreviated as ASICs. Application specific integrated circuit is a microchip designed perform to specific or unique application. So this ASIC, this processor or a controller, it will be mean to specifically design for specific operation or unique application it is. Okay, here used as a replacement to conventional general purpose logic chips, integrates several functions into a single chip and thereby reduce the development cost of the system. As a single chip, ASIC consumes a very small area in the total ASIC system, can be prefabricated for a special application or it can be custom applications. Fabricated by using the components from the reusable building block library of components for a particular customer application. What the application customer it asks, according to the customer, the particular specific operation, the design has to be taking place in that ASIC chip or a processors. Okay. Next, ASIC based system are profitable only for large volume commercial productions. So large volume, that is a millions of devices need to be produced. That production, this ASIC IC system are very profitable. And next point, fabrication of ASICs require a non-refundable initial investment. Non-refundable initial investment, known as non-recurring engineering charges (NRE), a one-time expense for the process, technology, and configuration expenses. So this while designing the processor for the customer requirement or application, Once the initial cost what is takes, that only it be more cost it takes. Remaining the production of the multi millions of products are to be manufactured. That time it is a very very non-recurring engineering charges. Okay, that charges will be got reduced. So that's why this ASIC processor or chips are it will be produced in large number, then it will be economically profitable. Okay, that is the ASIC feature. And here the feature of the ASIC and the drawbacks are given here. Features of ASICs are NRE cost, we discussed, less complex it is, high performance, low power consumption. Okay, these are the four important features of ASIC. And what are the drawbacks? Five drawbacks are there listed here. Just go through it. Inflexible design, update require a redesign, deployed systems cannot be upgraded, complex and expensive development tool, mistakes in product development are costly. Okay, these are the some drawbacks of the ASIC chips. And next point, in non-recurring engineering charges is borne by a third party, and the application specific integrated circuit ASIC is made openly available in the market. The ASIC is referred as a application specific standard product. So this is the another one important mm, chip type is in the market available. It is a open market. Okay. So the difference between ASIC and ASSP, let us two differences are mentioned. Just read it out. Microchip designed to perform specific application. I already told. If third party is ready to pay NRA cost and ASIC is made available into the market, the ASIC referred as a ASSP. That is who want to be required that particular design, that person or that customer has to be bear the initial, that is NRE cost. If bear that NRE cost, the company will be provide the ASSP chip to that customer. Okay, that is a costly it takes, costly of the processor maybe takes. Next point is the most of the ASIC are proprietary product, and this openly available in the market. It is available openly in the market. So that is the two differences we have in these two type of processors. Next type of the system core is the general purpose GPP and ASIP. GPP is the general purpose processor designed for general computation tasks. The processor running inside your laptop and your desktop, and that is example Pentium 3, 4, i3, i4, i5, i7, whatever it may be. Produce, produced in large volumes per unit cost for a chip is low. General purpose processor contains an arithmetic and logic unit and control unit. Okay, and let's come to the ASIP are processor with architecture and instruction set optimized to specific domain application requirements like network processing, automotive, telecom, media applications, digital signal processing, control applications, and etc. ASIPs incorporate a processor and on-chip peripherals demanded by the application requirement, program and data memory. Next, another processor device, that is programmable logic device. Logic devices provide the specific functions including device to interfacing, data communication, signal processing, data display, timing and control operations, and almost every other functions a system must perform. Logic devices can be classified into two broad categories: fixed, programmable. Okay, in fixed in the sense it is not going to be changed further any update of the device. Programmable, you can update the you can change the requirement of the application. Okay. PLDs offer customer a wide range of logic capacity, features, speed, and voltage characteristics. PLDs can be reconfigured to perform any number of functions at any time. These are the points of the PLDs. And let's discuss the advantage of PLDs. Programmable logic devices offer a number of advantages over fixed logic devices, including PLDs offer customer much more flexibility during the design cycle because design iterations are simply a matter of changing the programming file, and results of design changes can be seen immediately in working parts. PLDS do not require long lead time for the prototypes or production. PLDs do not require customers to pay for large NRE cost and purchase expensive mask sets. PLD supplier incur those costs when they design their programmable devices. PLS allows customers to order just the number of parts they need when they need them, allowing them to control inventory. PLDS can be reprogrammed even after a piece of equipment is shipped. CPLDs and FPGA, the two major types of programmable logic devices are FPGA and CPLDA. Okay. FPGA offers the highest amount of logic density, the most features, and the highest performance. The largest FPGA now shipping part of the Xilinx Vertex. This is the company. The difference CPLD versus FPGA is a table is given. Just you go through the points and you remember that differences of these two CPLD and FPGA processors. Okay. Next, the differences between FPGA versus ESIC table will be given. Just go through it. Next, another system core. Let's discuss COTs, cards. A cards product is one which is used as is. Cards products are designed in such a way to provide easy integration and interoperability with existing system components. Okay, it's important here. The cards component may be developed around a general purpose or a domain specific processor or an application specific integrated circuit or a programmable logic device. Examples of cards: hardware unit, remote control toy car, control units, including the RF circuitry part, high performance, high frequency microwave electronics, high bandwidth analog to digital converters, devices, components for operation at a very high temperatures, electro-optic IR imaging arrays, UV, IR detector, etc. Major advantage of cards. Let discuss. Cards are cheap. Okay, cards are readily available in the market. Developer can cut down his or development time to a great extent, which reduce the time to market your embedded system. Is very important in the computable market. This point will be this is the very advantage in cards core to be used. Example: the TCP/IP plugin module available from various manufacturers like Visnet, Freescale, Dynalog, etc. are very good examples of cards product. See figure that is shown in the diagram in the above right corner of the figure. You can see it. Benefits of cards based system: the to reduce the development cost, to improve software development process, to reduce coding, debugging, unit testing, and code inspection. and to reduce software life cycle. Okay, so these are the benefits based on the system. Okay, now I will stop it here. So let in the next session we'll discuss the memory. Okay, thank you.